So as you can see over here, we have our swatches from the scan we just did. And what you can actually do is you can click in this log and you can select all three of these rocks if you want. Now you see we have all three of these rocks up here. So I'm going to actually mine, I have two beams, so I'm going to mine two rocks at once. So I want this first rock. And the reason I'm picking that is because it's got like this pinkish color here. And I'm guessing, since we're in a core system, Proxima, this pinkish color means it probably has some pyrite in it. Because pyrite has like a hot pink color to it. And then this one's probably just all commons or uncommons. But we'll see if I'm right. So one thing to keep in mind when you're running your mining beams, yep, see, it had pyrite and nickel. Nickel shows up as white and pyrite is pink, like a hot pink. So a hot pink and a white together will give you this pink color. So one thing to keep in mind when you're mining is that you want to try to be as efficient as possible, and a lot of that starts with picking the right system. So you can see I just mined these two rocks, and I'm going to go ahead and scan again and we'll see if they have any ore left, and they do not. So both of these rocks that I just mined are empty already, which means they only had this much ore in them. So this rock, first rock, only had like 250-ish ore. This one had, what was it, like 550-ish ore. So 550 is pretty decent, especially if you're on starter mining beams. But once you get into like a thermal algad beam, you might start being able to pull like 800 ore in one cycle. And once you get to that point, you want to only mine in systems really that are going to give you the full beam yield in one cycle. Because the beam is going to run 30 seconds regardless. And if that rock only has 200 ore in it, then you just spent 30 seconds getting 200 ore, versus if you were in a good asteroid field, you could have spent 30 seconds getting 800 ore. So you can think about how that would add up over a few hours of mining. You could end up tripling or quadrupling your profit from mining if you pick a system that has rocks with enough ore in them. So how do you pick rocks and systems with good asteroid fields? Well, that's pretty difficult to start out, but a good general rule of thumb is the farther from Sol you go, the better the ore is going to be. So if you're sticking to core systems or jump gate systems, some of the best asteroid fields are in EQ Pegasi and 43 beta. Um, but I would recommend sampling and surveying all of the asteroid fields in the free jump gate system to start. It's a good idea to keep a spreadsheet where you track the ore you mine. That way, when you need a specific type of ore, you just reference back to that spreadsheet and know the best system to go to for it. So the next thing we're going to go over are the specialty scanners. So outside of these GFI scanners and the Xeno scanner and these common core CJ scanners, which detect all ores, you have specialty scanners like this electron pulse scanner. So this electron pulse scanner actually only detects 4 types of ore, and that's the precious metals: silver, gold, platinum, and galtronium. Now, first, that might seem like a little bit of a disadvantage, but if you're looking for one of those ores, it's actually very advantageous because you can just fly straight through field and just keep scanning until something pops up. Because what it's going to do is it's going to ignore all other ores, and that way you don't have to look over here and try and figure out which rocks you want to mine, which ones might have silver in them if you're looking for silver, because all you're going to see are silver, gold, platinum, and galtronium. Now, since we're in Proxima, I don't believe this really has any silver or gold, and it definitely does not have platinum or galtronium. So we're probably not going to get anything back on these scans. A better system to try this in would probably be EQ Pegasi. Yeah, see, we're not going to find anything here. So the next thing is power management. So this bottom slider here is your offensive slider, but it actually affects your mining beams as well. So when you're mining, I would recommend, if your power can handle it, to run this at 150% because your beams will run faster and you'll mine a lot more efficiently. Now, the last thing we want to talk about are nodes. So nodes are these pockets of rocks that have high concentrations of a specific ore type. They mostly exist in fringe, but you can find a node of uncommon or rare ore in core systems occasionally, and they can be very profitable. A node usually is anywhere from just like 5 rocks up to maybe like 20 to 30 rocks in a little pocket in the field. And they have a lot more ore than any other rocks in that field. So you can just sit in one spot and mine and mine and mine. And it's really good money. Now, the thing with nodes is they rotate. So once you find a node, you're only going to be able to mine it for a few days before it disappears and moves somewhere else. Uh, but while you're mining that node, you want to kind of keep track of when you empty the asteroid so you can come back in 6 to 8 hours and mine them again. Because most asteroids are going to reseed, aka refill with ore, every 6 to 8 hours. And that about sums it up for most of the basics for mining. That should give you guys a pretty good start to figure everything out and hopefully do some profitable mining. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Follow us on Twitter and jump in the Discord if you aren't already and ask away. Good flying, Commanders, and good luck.